Welcome back to the Level Up and Laugh podcast, where we take personal development to a whole new level through a comedic lens. I'm your host, Nate Bright. I'm a trainer, coach, and financial ninja.
And I'm your co-host, Andrea Rice, and I am a single mom with a background and degree in psychology and a passion for exploring the realms of spirituality and the depths of consciousness. So just a little woo-woo, just a little.
Just that much.
Just a little.
Like it's getting sweet in here. All right, and today we're diving into the least woo-woo topic on the planet that's both cringeworthy and enlightening. It's our biggest money mistakes. This can be a tough topic, but we're going to open up with no shame. What do you think? No shame?
No shame in my game, no.
All right, so now it's time for story time. And I have screwed up so many times with money, I can't even count. But there's one time in particular, it was really bad. And it was in 2004. Go back in your brain when that happens. And the iPod first came out. And I got an iPod when people were like, why do you need 1,000 songs in your pocket, right? And so I got my iPod. I couldn't find accessories for it anywhere. So what I could have done is taken a handful of cash and gone online and bought the accessories I needed. But I'm like, if I'm looking for these accessories, the rest of the world is looking for it too. So I not only opened up, first I opened up one store in a mall. I bought the inventory. I put a second mortgage on my house for tens of thousands of dollars. And I went all in on this idea of opening up this store. And about 2 months into the store being opened, I'm like, you know what? We're not profitable yet. You know, it'd be a good idea. A second store. So I took, another loan against my house, and I bought more inventory. And we had 2 sets of employees and 2 2 leases, 2 everything. And I multiplied the issue, and it was a miserable next maybe 3 or 4 months until I finally started to close them down a little bit. And so I took money that I didn't have and mortgaged my house to run off and start a business. And that wasn't bad within itself. But then I was like, you know what, this isn't working. Let me take the multiplier and times that times 2. And
let me expand.
Let me make a big mistake instead of a small mistake, right? So I think the big takeaway was like fail small and fail not with debts, right, on there. But it was a rough little time. Now, we did take it online after that, and we did recoup a lot of the money. But it was a torturous. I was the guy in the mall. Oh, get this. Like, I was sitting in the mall, and I was in a booth, and they put me right next to these people who were chasing down customers. You ever see that? Chase down customers with lotions or steam irons or whatever. And so people would walk by and they would like juke them like a running back and run around both of our places and keep going. And people didn't even stop on my cart.
Oh,
how crazy it was, right? And so I'm a little bitter at that because they sold a lot of those little, irons. I couldn't hawk an MP3. I got to explain to people what an MP3 was. That was like my life for 6 months. Crazy.
Oh, that makes sense.
Have you ever made up money? Have you ever messed up like that?
That story made me a little sad because I'm like, oh, poor Nate. But I will say maybe mine is an even bigger mistake than that. So all the single ladies out there, listen up. Okay. Yes. So I would say my biggest financial mistake, and you might not think of this as a financial mistake, but I do, was I got married at 21. And before any of us really had any money, I was like, oh, I'm going to invest all of our time and resources into him being a success. And that was great. He's very successful. Congratulations. You did it. But when we got divorced after 23 years, that left me with not as much financial success as I could have had I poured that all into myself. So I think my biggest takeaway was, always invest in yourself. That's the biggest investment you can make. And it's the most important one you can make. And if you are married, I'm not saying don't invest in your spouse. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that. I'm saying just make sure you're equally investing into yourself because I think it was Lady Gaga said that you can invest in a man or your career, but a career will never wake up one day and say it doesn't love you. Okay, ladies? From Gaga.
So I always take all my financial advice from Lady Gaga.
I know.
Yeah. Especially when I play poker. Yeah. So that's crazy. So, really the difference between selfless and selfish is just a couple letters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of tweak that at the end. A little Scrabble trivia for you guys. Now it's time. Let's take some money trivia. Andrew, you got a question for me? I'm going to get it right.
Yes. So about 90% of U.S. currency carries traces of what?
Can I say Joe Biden's fingerprints?
No.
No.
No. Do you know? Do you want to give a real answer?
Oh, dirt?
I mean, yeah, that's what I would think. I was going to go with feces. I don't know if we can say feces on here, but it's actually cocaine.
Hey.
Right? A lot of partying people out there. 90% have traces of cocaine.
So people are taking their cash, which already has cocaine, and trading it for actual cocaine. And they could can you smoke your cash? I mean, maybe not. Doesn't work that way.
I don't know.
Is it from rolling it up? Is it from rolling it up in little tiny? Because I see that in the movies. They have the mirror and they have like a $1 bill, unless you're bald.
Guessing, yes.
Bill.
Yeah.
I think so.
There's apparently a lot of that going on that I'm not invited to. I don't know.
Fun fact: you're not invited to any parties. Yay! Okay, so I've got 3 for you. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Let's see if the people at home can also guess as well.
Play along.
2009, a man named James Howells accidentally threw away a hard drive containing 7,500 Bitcoin, which would be worth millions today. If he hadn't, he'd have to take a modern day treasure hunt to find this in a landfill. But how much money would that Bitcoin be worth today? I said millions. How many millions would 7,500 Bitcoin be today?
500 million.
Jeez, that's the word. You went so high up there, but you were close. $315 million.
Oh my gosh, I'd be so sick to my stomach.
And he probably spent $2,000 on it. He's like, I'll just take a $2,000 flyer and put it on there. Now, have you ever bought any crypto?
I wanted to. When I was married, and my husband advised against it. So again, ladies, big financial mistake.
So let me defend him for a little bit.
Okay.
So I was hearing about crypto forever, and I was like, whatever. Like my friends would be online, be like, look how much money I made in the last 6 months. It's amazing. Crypto to the moon, whatever. And so I said, hey, you know what? I got to talk to my wife. I'm like, let's just take 5,000 and let's throw it into Bitcoin, right? If it does nothing, it's fine. If it takes off, that's great too. We'll just put it in there and forget about it. I put it in there. I don't know if you could take a look at your charts, but in November of 2021 is when I bought it. It was like 2021, 2022. It was at the peak. If you look at, it's like the pinnacle, the summit of the price of Bitcoin. I bought it at the incredible high. And from the second I hit enter, it was like Tom Petty, free falling all the way down to like doink, 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 nothing. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and sell it. It'd be nice to have $1,500 back in my account, right? So I take it, I put it back in the account. And ever since then, it's like, now it's back up. It's not back to where I got it, but it's over halfway there. So it's like, number one, another reason not to listen to your husband, I guess, ladies out there. I'm going to turn on my own, on like my own kind. So I was like, yo, Bitcoin to the moon. And all of a sudden it's like, no, Bitcoin to the couch because
wow,
it's not good.
That's bad.
Yeah. So you did great on that first one. You almost got that nailed, by the way. The second one deals with subscription services. So, the different subscription services like streaming platforms and meal kits have become increasingly popular. How much does the average American spend on a subscription services monthly?
$50.
You would think. Actually, it's very, very close to what people think they spend. But it's $219 on average when you add up all the subscriptions, on average, which is more than 2.5 times what people think they spend. When you ask these people, like, how much do you spend on subscription services? They're like, $75. Wrong, 219. And you know what's crazy? First, are you under the average or over the average?
I think I'm under because I don't have a lot of subscriptions outside of streaming services. So
Those are hard to add up to 219.
yeah.
Well, let me tell you, I am pulling you back to, if we average together, we would be above the average because I'm way, way, way over it. And I didn't realize I was till I did a little audit a couple months ago. And between like meal plan services and the lawn care service that comes out, which is subscription based, streaming, Spotify, YouTube, print. Like I'm one of those weirdos that does.
Yeah, well, we know that.
Yeah. And so it's way, way larger than that. And that's something that, again, it adds value to my life. But like at some point you got to pull that plug. But I'm probably $500 a month.
Hey, I'm learning so much about you today.
Balling out of control.
I know, you're such a ball.
Yes. Out of control. All right. The first one is, the third one is with car payments. You ready for this?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. What is the average car payment in America today for both new cars and used cars?
I think I read something about this recently and it blew my mind, but I believe I read somewhere it was like $800.
Okay. And what about used?
Lovely. $5.
Okay. That's actually pretty dead on. The average monthly car payment is $729. Okay. And the average used car payment is $528. And the average loan term, these aren't short-term loans. These are 68 months.
Wow. I can't say anything. I have a 60-month loan on my used car.
So I guess that answers my question. Are you below the average?
I'm right at it.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, my subscriptions don't look so bad because I can cancel those. So.
But I can just say right now, I love Volvo. And if Volvo wanted to send me a new Volvo.
I might mention it on the next podcast. Nobody's going to listen to it. Great. So Volvo did something really interesting. I don't know if you saw this, but like they did a subscription service, and I don't know if it still exists or not, with one of their cars, where you get the car, and then you get the insurance, and you get I think it was gas. It was like a bundle pricing for everything you need for the car, like all the maintenance, your insurance, and the car. I think together, and it was for one price. It's like a lease, and then you could turn in that car. They were going to expand the product line, and you could just bring your car in every 3 months and change for another car if you want to, and just pay that subscription. Would you do a car subscription?
No, because I saw that same subscription and it was double what I am paying, and I was just like, no, I'm not.
Are they still doing it? Like, are they still doing it?
I think they might be still doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of.
But Volvo, if you want me to know for sure, just send me a new car, and I'll tell the people.
I'm bagging over here. So I haven't purchased the new car in 15 years. Every car I buy is between 5 and 7 years old. I get nice cars, but just older cars because typically they depreciate. Everybody knows your car is worth about 40% 5 years from now than it is right now. And so let somebody else take the butt whooping on the depreciation, and then I'll go buy it. But there was a time in my 20s where I wasn't so financially savvy, where between my wife and I, we bought, I think, 6 new cars off the lot in an 8-year window. And we would do this. We were like, I would buy one, and then she would buy one, and then I would buy one the next year, and we would alternate. And I don't know why we alternated. We were idiots. But we would take the depreciation butt kicking every year in order to get the new shiny one.
Then you don't do that anymore.
No, not at all. All right, now it's time for our meme review. These are going to be money-based memes. I'm going to show you some memes, Andrea, and you react to them. How about this first one right here? Coyote, $21,000 in debt after wandering through a university campus.
Oh, I feel like I know that coyote. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Poor coyote. Like the little pups at home. I feel bad for him.
And the thing is, a lot of these college campuses look like wildlife preserves / museums / it's just they're out of control. Oh my gosh. We will talk about colleges in a minute, but
Yeah.
this is
He looks smart, though. That's a smart coyote.
he's going to absolutely catch that Roadrunner. No,
Yeah.
he's going to absolutely catch that Roadrunner for sure. All right, next one. What do you mean I can't turn myself in and get the money?
Like, wouldn't that be great? He should be able to. Yes. Yes, sir. You can. As soon as you get out of jail, you can have that reward money.
Give him a perk for that. Maybe he gets his teeth fixed, I'm thinking.
Oh, poor guy. Yes.
So sad. So sad. He's got like that chiclet hanging out. Like that's the good tooth. He's like, I brushed the good tooth today. We're good. The next meme, the face you make when you see somebody spending money and they owe you money. Ooh.
Oh my God.
Run it back?
Loan it, not got it back? Yes. I was very naive in my early days, and I would loan money to people that were like, can I have $700 for a plane ticket? I was like, yes, just get me back when you can. No one ever got me back.
Nobody ever did.
So not only you only lend money if you don't want it back. That's my advice.
Yeah. So everything should be a gift, right? I'm going to give you this money, and if it finds its way back to you, that's a plus. But like I always say, like I don't expect it back. Like if I don't have it to give, don't give it.
100%.
But secretly, if you loan somebody money, you're on their social media, aren't you? Be like, another vacation? Another vacation? What's up?
Yeah.
Thanksgivings are different. All right. How you feel after your first paycheck after taxes? Ooh.
So depressed.
So I am least patriotic. I'm a pretty patriotic guy. I'm least patriotic around tax season. When I see it all going in and like what, like it just feels like we get ripped off. And honestly, when you start, like I'm about paying my fair share and making sure these things we all enjoy stay intact.
Right.
But the efficiency is what I'm an efficiency junkie. And for every dollar that goes into the top of the governmental funnel, when everybody gets their hands on it, I think a dime comes out the bottom to actually solve problems. And it's like,
yeah. No, like, and especially like if you ever get like a bonus at work, that's taxed at an even higher rate. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, like I used to make commission and they used to tax that probably 40-45%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, it's not extra money. It's money I was kind of counting.
Right. Yeah.
I'm bitter still, a little bitter. Last one. Oh, behold the cankles. My lifestyle versus my salary. I feel like people are feeling this at a whole new level right now with student loans getting back in.
Yeah. And I'm one of those people paying student loans. So I'm really feeling it on a whole bunch of levels right now. I think my lifestyle is going to have to be curbed just a little. There's inflation, right? And the student loans coming back on board. And you have children, but they are not driving yet. I have a child who just started driving and the insurance is trickled.
And can we say that your daughter drives a better car than I do? I'm just putting it out there.
No, she doesn't. She does drive a Volvo, though. She just drives
a Volvo. Second plug today.
Oh, no.
That's definitely a car upgrade. You're going to get the leather seat Volvo, I think, now.
Yeah, definitely.
You're in. So, yeah, I think that's one thing that's, again, people are stretched a little further than they are right now. And how long have you been paying your student loans?
6 years.
Okay. Not
long. I know I was an older graduate because, again, I was investing in my husband.
Yeah. Did you pay it during the period with COVID where you didn't have to?
No.
Nobody did. The interest was zero. You're like, they're gonna forget this eventually. It's like, yoink. Really?
I was just hopeful that it would magically go away. You know?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
It's like I've got 3 years to sell my first book and to become famous, and I get it. It's not flawless logic, but it's close. It's there.
Yeah. Well.
Bruh. All right. Now, here is the part of the show where we are going to give you controversial financial advice. and we're gonna, I think we're gonna lose friends with this. Okay, and I'm ready to lose. I'm gonna die on this hill. You ready?
Yes.
So, do you have some too, or?
I have some too. I have two controversial money.
Okay, so we'll alternate. Like I'll do one, you do one, I do one. Okay. Let me tell you something. College is no longer a slam dunk decision. It used to be you go to college and that there was like no other alternative if you wanted a successful life. So in a world where you go out of state, live on campus, study a non-lucrative major, and leave with six-figure debt and little life experience, no longer makes sense. Instead, go to college the smartest way possible. If you're going to go to community college, go to trade schools, live at home and work if possible, working your way through college in order to gain experience. That's what makes sense. So I'm pro college, but I'm just pro college the right way. If you're going to go out of state so you can, attend fun football events, events, what it sound like? I know nothing about football. Attend football games. That's a terrible trade. You are trading your enjoyment now with dread and despair later on. No to college the dumb way.
That is a little controversial still, I think, but Nate, that's a great point. And I think more and more people, like 10 years from now, I don't even think that'll be controversial.
Yeah. I agree. Like my girls are going to college, one, maybe in 10 years and another one maybe in 12 years. And I don't know what the landscape looks like then, but I know it's not going to be blank checks. All right, Andrew, your turn.
Okay, so my first piece of controversial advice is I don't think you should have a ton of money in your savings account. Okay, like when I grew up, yes, I don't. Like when I grew up, like everyone was like save, right? That was like that's what my grandfather said. A penny saved is a penny earned, right? And so I kind of grew up with that mentality, but the past couple of years, I've kind of laid off of that a little bit because the price of everything always goes up, and your savings account, it just basically sits there. It doesn't really grow. So the money you put in today is worth even less tomorrow. So yeah, I think you should have some in your savings account. Don't get me wrong, because you need a little that's quickly accessible and either for a rainy day or an emergency. But I don't think you need 50,000, 100,000, whatever in a little savings account. You don't.
Okay. All right. And instead invest in shoes, right?
Yes, obviously. Buy the shoes today, ladies.
I buy them today. Let's go. Oh, that's actually
more. You pay more tomorrow, so buy them today.
Because of inflation.
Yes.
That's savvy financial advice. There you go. I like it. Financial advice with Mrs. Rice.
Yes. Oh, I like that.
We'll take that. All right. That's the next podcast. Start, right? All right. Despite what your Instagram influencers say, you cannot have it all. Okay? That's tough, right? You want to manifest everything. So we all like nice things. You could have, you could be into cars and have a nice car. You can be into real estate and get yourself a nice house. You can be into high-end clothes and get some fly gear. You can be an or person, house or car or clothes or vacation, but you can't be an and person, because not everything can be super important to you that you want to splurge on everything. And all you're doing is throwing money out the window, trying to impress other people. So it's okay, be an or person, but don't try to flex at every angle of your life. If it doesn't matter to you, don't do it. And somebody once told me this. You know whether you're buying something for you or like buying something for somebody else if you would still buy it if nobody ever saw it. Would you buy those shoes if nobody ever saw it? Would you buy that particular car if nobody ever saw it? So that's it.
That's that's interesting. Yes, because I agree with you 100% almost. that there's a part of me that thinks we're just living in the matrix and why can't I have it all? It's a simulation. Like I can have it all.
So somebody once told me it's like splurge on things that are important to you and be unbelievably stingy on things that aren't.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Be cheap on everything else.
Now, my last little controversial financial advice is a little more woo-woo. So if you thought you were going to get out of this without some woo-woo, you were wrong. So my advice is if you want to have money flow to you, you need to give it away, right? Because so I think you need to give to charities. If you see the homeless man on the street, homeless woman, whatever, you give them money, okay? If you are going through a drive-thru and the 16-year-old taking your order and takes your money, give them a little tip, right? I just think give when you have these little opportunities to do so, because if you are kind of stingy with your money, that's telling the universe that you're living in a place of lack and you don't believe more money is coming to you. But if you give it freely, yes, you believe, you're telling the universe, hey, I know that there is an abundance of money and everything I give away will come back to me amplified. So I think that that's my controversial financial advice is you've got to give some away.
I don't completely disagree with that. But let me ask you one question. Have you ever seen those times where like everybody's paying for the person behind them in the drive-thru?
Yes.
And they see how long they can get that chain going?
Yes.
All right. So you are pulling up, say, in a McDonald's, and you're getting just a Diet Coke, right? I just need a Diet Coke. I don't know if you just get that, but you're just getting a Diet Coke. You pull through, and you have your Diet Coke, and they're like, ma'am, the person ahead of you just paid for your Diet Coke. And they just sit there and look at you, and you find out the person behind you has a minivan full of people, and their total is $66. Do you pay the $66 and keep it going? Are you like, thank you very much? Because I know which one I'm doing.
Honestly, there was a time in my life where I would have said no, but yes, I would. I'd
follow you around every drive-thru for that one. I'm never gonna pay for a meal again. It's gonna be great.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's a hot take. Very nice. Very nice. The last one that I would say that will irritate the most people, I'm telling you right now, your house is not an investment. It's an asset and it's a lifestyle choice, but it is not an investment. Let me break it down. Like with my own experience, right?
Okay.
Because you work in real estate, right?
I do. And so this is like triggering me.
Yes. So I bought a house during the downturn of 2007. They like that, and I'll give you some like specifics. The house I ended up buying was $450,000 6 months prior, and then the Armageddon thing all happened, and I came in and I was able to put in on and offer for $300,000 on the nose, and they took it. So I got a steal on my house, and it just went sideways for a while, and then the craziness happened. We were lucky enough to pay off our house in 2020. My house has doubled about between then and now. But when I sat back and I calculated, even with that, so I bought it great, and we've gone through a tremendous run-up between those two things. But when I calculated my home improvements, my interest, my taxes, my upkeep, and the cost associated if I were to sell it to like a real estate agent, we would not get any money out of it. In fact, we would put more money into it than we would get out by the time you calculate all that stuff. So buying a house is nice. Buy a nice house, right? But don't overbuy your house and lie to you thinking you're making a smart investment and a great money move, because all you're doing is lying yourself and you're locking up so much of your money into something that's not going to bring you a return, unless it's a piece of rental real estate. And then we can make an argue that it's an investment. That's it. Hot take.
Well, Nate, like I never considered the taxes and all the money that you put into it and calculated that. Now I kind of want to do that on my house, but I do work in real estate. So I'm not a real estate agent, but I do work in real estate, and that's hard for me to believe. But yeah, rental properties. Oh my God. Like I want 1 million of them. So,
But like I will put a couple caveats on there. Number one, by the time you retire, you should probably have a paid for piece of real estate for your own self. Number one.
right.
Because you want to be able to control your costs, and you can't factor in for 30 years of renting and like what rent's going to look like. Number one. Number two, there's a ground swelling of people who are now being like, we're only going to rent. I've seen a lot of like good arguments for just renting a modest home and banking the rest, because you'll spend on average 30% more to own the house as opposed to renting that same house when you factor in all the costs, according to a statistic I just made up. But I think it's accurate. It sounds right.
Well, I'm gonna have to like look into that. You've given me a lot to think about.
Okay. I'll get it. Sell your house, quit college.
Yes. Don't save your money, just give it away.
You can only do shopping at the thrift store and Walmart. Let's be real.
And the universe will reward you for it.
There it is.
Great.
And pay for the person's buffet behind you.
Yes, and buy the shoes. Come on, people.
Buy the shoes. Those are all the takeaways from here. So
yeah,
that's our for today. All right, now it's time for our final segment, and that's our Believometer. Okay, where we rank between 1 and 5 our belief in a particular statement. Are you ready to rank the statement? The statement is this: the most effective way to learn financial lessons is to make financial mistakes. True or false? Or between 1 and 5.
Right.
1, I don't believe it. 5, I wholeheartedly believe it.
I'm going to give you a 3 on that. Do you want me to tell you why?
Yeah.
Or you want to give me your answer first? Okay. Because mistakes are 100% the best way to learn, but you want to like get your information somewhere else sometimes, or you can make such big mistakes that you can't recover from them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go 2 on this.
Okay.
Because I partially believe that a little bit. Mistakes are a great teacher, but if I could learn from somebody else's mistakes without having the financial pain to go through that, I'm down. So I'm going to give it a 2.
Okay.
All right. And that's our episode today, guys. Catch us next time in the Level Up and Laugh podcast.